Coming up on today's show, it is all things green. We are composting, we're biking, spending some time outdoors, and we do fit some shopping in there, of course. Your Day Cleveland starts right now. Welcome to our Going Green show. I'm Natalie Herbeck, and all hour long we are going to show you some of the amazing ways that Northeast Ohio is helping our planet. So to kick things off, we are starting with a company that is helping you to limit your food waste. This is Rubber City Reuse.
Rubber City Reuse, we're a sustainable waste management company. We specialize in composting and organics recycling for businesses and households. Composting is the aerobic process, and it's basically bacteria breaking down organic matter like wood chips and food scraps, and then that creates a nutrient-rich soil. We'll use it for soil additives, mulch additives. You can use it in your potted plants. Garden at home, veggie garden, flower garden, lots of uses. And we're always exploring more. We're an organics recycler, so you can recycle paper, you can recycle metal, you can also recycle your food scraps and your yard waste. So one thing we've really started looking into is taking yard waste for cities. The reason being they have to pay to send that to a landfill, but we'll actually take it for free because it's just it's like if I was baking a cake and I was getting my flour for free, I'll take it all day. So we're really an organics recycler, just like a scrap yard or a paper recycler. When we send organic material to a landfill, it doesn't break down because it's deprived of oxygen. They layer it like a cake, the big machines smash it in. Oxygen doesn't get down there to break that material down. So it almost like festers in these landfills and emits huge amounts of methane. Composting is awesome for the environment because it reduces methane being put into the environment, because we're breaking it down on Mother Nature's terms instead of man's terms in a landfill. We offer a free app called Better Bin that has everything that's compostable. The best thing I can tell you, if it grows, it goes. So if at one time it was growing, you can compost it. So you want to get a little pile, ideally for like a household, 3 by 3 is usually fine. And what you want to do is you want to take your food scraps and you want to mix them with a carbon source. So we like to say compost is 30-to-1, carbon to nitrogen. Carbon is anything like paper, wood chips, straw, dried brown leaves. Nitrogen is going to be food scraps, green leaves, plants that are still kind of alive and green, and then you'll mix that 30-to-1, so 1 part nitrogen or greens to 30 parts carbon or leaves, things like that, browns we call them. And then you're gonna pile them up. When you add your food scraps, you wanna mix them in, don't just lay them on top, mix them, try and get them to the bottom. So I always tell people it's like starting a campfire. You wanna make like almost your little teepee or your mound, and you wanna mix the paper, the fire starter, or in this case the nitrogen, into the bottom, so you get a nice little hot core, and it'll start cooking, literally cooking. If you ever had Play-Doh and you left it out for like a day, it's gonna be kind of crumbly, but still able to kind of make a snowball out of it to a degree. It'll smell like earth. It won't have any like smells of what the material is, and it'll usually be like a dark brown or black color, and that's when you can tell it's ready to roll. What you wanna do, you wanna take about 1 inch of finished compost, just with a hoe or a rake, and just rake it into the top 3 inches of your garden, and then just give it a little water. And that's it. Composting is so important because if there's one thing we can do in our households to make the easiest and most direct impact on the environment is compost. You're really talking about taking material locally, keeping it locally, and then reusing it locally. There is no wrong way to compost. That's what people always tell me all the time. You know, I'll get it, they'll say, you know, oh, I'm not good at composting. And I said, just you keeping it out of a trash can and attempting to compost, you might not get your pile real hot to where it's cooking like steam's blowing off it like ours, but the fact that you're keeping it out of a landfill is goal number 1. So there is really no wrong way to compost. So if I could just stress the importance of composting, it's the easiest way to make a household impact on the environment.
So if you're unsure what's compostable and what's not, Rubber City Reuse can help you. Just download their app. All right, did you know that Northeast Ohio is home to a surf shop? Yeah, it's more than a place to grab a new board or paddles. It's also the heart of a project keeping styrofoam out of the landfill. This is Edgewater Surf.
Edgewater Surf is a shop to purchase windsurfing gear and custom-made paddle boards, surfboards, and windsurf boards, and get other custom-made items, including furniture and decor items for the house and for your boat. So I've been making furniture and just building things in general for as far back as I can remember. So it's the basic home goods like chairs and tables and things like that, rocking chairs. I have some bar stools here that I made for a customer. And it's really anything that somebody wants that they aren't able to find on the shelf, in the store, somewhere else. For stand-up paddling, we make the wood paddles made custom per the species of the wood that somebody desires and or size that they are looking for that paddle. We do have the Gemini paddle, dual purpose, can act as a kayak paddle or a stand-up paddle. And as far as I know, we're the only ones manufacturing that on large scale or small scale. So this would be the place to get that, and it's quite handy for being out on the lake and you want to rest, but you still want to keep moving. You can sit down and kayak paddle and take a break from your feet and keep moving. As I got into building the surfboards and was trying to find, as they call them, blanks to make boards, so that's the raw block of foam that you then shape into a surfboard, it became obvious that they're difficult to get around here and you have to have them shipped in from far away. So I decided it would be interesting to see if I could make it from foam that's available locally, because it's all really the same product. So I started purchasing materials locally that you would normally use for construction and insulation, and then got into the recycling aspect. And as I got into the recycling aspect and started collecting post-consumer foam, it became more obvious that there's a lot more of this than I can ever use. So that branched out into the full-on recycling, where I use a small portion of the foam that comes into this shop, probably 5%, and then the rest of it gets run through a machine called a densifier. It gets put on pallets and it gets sent off to a facility that turns it back into new EPS foam. There's just so much of it. And it's all going to the landfill. And here in Northeast Ohio, currently, I'm the only person aware of, or the only facility I'm aware of, that is recycling this material. Geauga County Waste District has started a program as well. It takes up a lot of landfill space, and as you're out on the water, if you go out at Edgewater or Wendy Park or any of the public access areas here on the lake, you see a lot of styrofoam on the beach. And a lot of it's not going even to a landfill, which would still be better than the beach. So there's a need for it to be managed and for it to be reused, and it's 100% recyclable. There is a synergy with all of it, with the recycling and the materials, and I've always wanted to have some impact environmentally, and this was something that nobody else was doing, and it took me a little over 2.5 years to get to the point where I can now have the impact that I'm having and be able to collect materials, process them, and send them out and close the loop of recycling. So it feels good to be doing it.
Edgewater Surf is located in Rocky River, and you can learn more about the recycling efforts online, including how you can get involved. When we come back, we are eating green with delicious smoothies. Welcome back. You know, if you're going green, you have to shop green too. Find something new to you at Cool World.
Cool World's kind of like this, I guess in a nutshell, I just generally sum it up to people. It's a gift shop. When you walk in the door of the store, other than just sort of the environment kind of hitting you in the face, like I really concentrate the front section on journals and notebooks, stationery from all over the world. Some of the best stationery on the planet is from Japan. That's something I'm very passionate about. I've got stationery paper notebooks from Portugal, France, Germany, Japan, the United States. I love and seek out like new brands that like the design and the quality is super exciting. So definitely love to like make sure people know that they can find stationery notebooks and fountain pens and desk supplies here, but the vintage is also very exciting. I get a lot of people just commenting that they feel transported to their childhood or, you know, growing up in the 80s or 90s, or kids will refer like funny fantasy period TV shows that they like, and so that's kind of fun and satisfying to hear. It's obviously, to the trained eye, I guess, you know, notice like I love 80s and 90s, like outlandish, fun, colorful design, but like it's an eclectic mix of like what I think is the best from like all the eras. Then I have a lot of just kind of decor, and you'll find some barware, you'll find some knickknacks, you'll find some funny objects or sculptural things, local jewelry, independent designer goods from all over the planet if it seems to strike my fancy, like jelly bags, little beach bags that are super fun and retro. I do have some furniture pieces that are around that are like funky or fun, 80s, or mostly vintage things. I also have a line of original printed apparel. I have a fun little Cleveland amusement park sign shirt that's inspired by the vintage Disneyland signs, so that I think that brings a lot of people in off the street. And on my website, I try to keep like a little list of like everything, every individual person who might be selling in here, and like the brands I carry, which is constantly changing and growing. My favorite part of the store is just building the collage of the just interior. I like to think that color and pattern and texture, it's just like kind of an uplifting thing for like your mood and your soul. A lot of common reactions from customers and people walking in for the first time, or they span from like confusion to total dazzlement of just like, I want my house to look like this, or this looks like my teenage bedroom, or this looks like the record store from Pretty in Pink. And when I hear that, I'm just like, thank you. Like, that record store and movie is iconic. Cool World is located in Gordon Square. It's a shopping arts district just west of Ohio City, west of downtown on Detroit Avenue. I encourage people, like, come window shop, come visit, come check it out. There's always new things in here and new treasures to find and discover. And obviously I would love people to come in and like pick out gifts for their friends or gifts for themselves and shop, or pick up their new favorite notebook that they carry with them everywhere, or sketchbook. Most of all, I just encourage people to stop in and soak in the color and the fun.
Cool World is located in Gordon Square, and if you can't visit during their business hours, you can also make a private shopping appointment. All right, going green is good for the environment and for you. Get your fruits and veggies at Smooth Rider Smoothies.
Smooth Rider Smoothies is a food truck and cafe here in Ohio City. We started with the truck in 2016, and we started the storefront here in Ohio City in 2018. Our recipes are unique. When I first started kind of researching the business and trying to figure out how to create all these recipes, I did a lot of research, and I was going to smoothie chains around town and seeing what they do and what they put in their smoothies, and kind of studying all these different menus. And I kept seeing fruit juice, fruit juice, fruit juice, fruit juice. And the more research I did, I just saw sugars and calories. And I'm like, how can we remove that? And how can we remove the frozen yogurt and the sherbet? Because a lot of these places are putting in fruit juice, a scoop of sherbet, a scoop of frozen yogurt, and then fruit, and you're just getting so much added sugar, so much added calories to that. So that's kind of how I started researching to create this menu, is to pull all that stuff that's not good for you out and to make it more healthy. So what we did is we just used these alternative liquids that have practically no sugar in them and no calories, and blend with like a dairy-free, which is like our coconut milk base. So our top seller since we started is our Kokomo Kale. That's kind of our signature smoothie. It's got kale and spinach, chia seeds, a little splash of lime juice, mangoes and pineapples. So that's kind of been like our go-to since we started. And for me, like, I'm a person that doesn't like greens, so I've been able to like really sell that smoothie to people because I don't eat salad, lettuce, anything like that. So that's kind of like the only way I'll have it. But for 6 years now, that's been our top seller, not only at the shop, but on the food truck too. 2 tropical drinks, 2 pink lizards. The part of the job that I love the most is just meeting all the people. So whether I'm here at the store, meeting all the kids at Ignatius, and all the, you know, the customers that are just walk-ins from the neighborhood of Ohio City, or just people that I meet at the food truck that follow us all around. I mean, I see people that live in Paynesville that come all the way over to Olmsted. I mean, they just for a smoothie at our truck. So, and to open this location when I did, it was kind of awesome because all those people were able to come here and get smoothies whenever they wanted to. Smoothies have been around for a while, but it's only getting bigger and bigger. It's not gonna like go away. It's a meal replacement for some. Some people it's a dessert. You could have it at all times of day, morning, afternoon, evening. So, you know, smoothies are just popular and people are more health conscious nowadays, so that kind of helps us. And going into the future, I think it's just gonna get even better with that.
Check out Smooth Rider Smoothies Facebook page to see where the food truck is going to be headed next, or you can give them a visit in Ohio City. Are you still to come? Let's hit the road, a bike trail that will lead you all around Ohio.
Every day is a new day. Follow New Day Cleveland on Facebook and Instagram.
This scenic trail is over 300 miles long, and you can explore it all. Bike from Lake Erie to the Ohio River on the Ohio to Erie Trail.
The Ohio to Erie Trail is a trail that runs from Cleveland to Cincinnati, or Cincinnati to Cleveland, through Columbus. It's 326 miles of multi-use paths that we borrow. You know, it starts here in the northern section, it starts in Cincinnati on the Ohio River, depending on which way you're going, but it's 326 miles of connected trails. 90% of which is you're on multi-use paths, only about 10% you're on the road a little bit. But it's a great opportunity to see Ohio. It's a world-class through-state bike route. It's called SB1, State Bike Route 1. And it can be done in 3 days, 4 days, and most of the tour groups do it in about 7 days. It started as the Ohio to Erie Trail Fund in 1991, and over time they have worked with counties and cities to gain more multi-use paths, and some in Cincinnati. They even created new ones coming around Lundgren Airport. We've done this. Wendy Park is new. It connects now to that trail. So it's a series of multi-use paths that are, this is the run by the Metro Parks from here to Rockside, and then after that the Cuyahoga Valley takes over. So there's different caretakers for the trail all the way down to Cincinnati. There is no requirement on the trail. Anybody can ride it if you have a bike or ride portions of it. This is mostly a cycling adventure trip. There are segments you can walk, but if you wanted to walk the whole OTET, you'd take 3 weeks. You have to kind of take your own adventure, but I'm really in love with the northern section here, and right here from Wendy Park all the way to Rockside, and then to Rockside to Peninsula, where the trail becomes gravelly. It's all great into Peninsula, and you can even rent a bike in Peninsula too. A lot of people just stay on their bike and camp along the way, so it really depends on how you want to do it. It's a way to turn off. I mean, we're always in our car, we're always on our computers, we always are diverting ourselves from ourselves. So when you get on this trail and you're with friends, you become kind of disconnected with the electrical society. I've seen people from all over the country on this trail when I'm riding around. If I see the panniers, I ask them if they're on the Ohio to Erie Trail, and they usually are, and they're from all over the place, and they come here just to do that. But it's just a kind of a personal satisfaction when you dip your tire in here and then you dip it in Cincinnati. It's such a great way to bike recreationally. It's good for your mental health, it's good for your physical health, and it's a whole lot of fun. And you can see Ohio.
To find out more about the trail, including a map and trail services along the way, you can visit ohiotoerietrail.org. All right, stay green no matter the weather, keeping life growing and blossoming in your home all year with the help of the experts at Petiti Garden Centers.
Petiti Garden Centers has been serving Northeast Ohio for over 50 years now. We are a 9-store garden center, so we have 9 locations all over Northeast Ohio. We are growers of our plant materials, so we grow 98% of the plant material that you do see at our garden center. We also offer a lot of home accents, patio furniture, lots of different gifts and lawn and garden solutions. Anything you need for home and garden, you can find here. You can have houseplants year-round, and we do. We have plant connoisseurs that are always looking for something in bloom, something unique, something new. So plant material is always available from us. We're open year-round, and you can always see what's new and on trend and coming into hopefully your home soon. All of the new type of foliage plants are coming out of one plant family. It's called the aroid plant family. And the aroid plant family is really, really diverse. You can tell on the table lots of different color, foliage, all different types. But they're all really easy care plants. They are air purifiers, so they work great in a home or an office, really do give you a burst of fresh air, if you will. And there's really just a plant for anyone out there. We have a display of all different types of aroid plants. They're in the aroid family or arum family, and this includes popular plants like the philodendron family. And you can tell all of the large leaf philodendrons, cardinal black, moonlight, and this one's really popular. This is Thai Constellation. It's a split leaf philodendron. Really, really beautiful with that white variegation. Down below, this is Brazil. It's one of the trailing types of philodendrons with that beautiful yellow center. And then right next to it, this is Chocolate Empress, and it's got that beautiful scalloped leaf, gorgeous philodendron when it really gets very large as it grows, but has that nice bronzy chocolate color to it. Pothos is also a family that's very closely related. And pothos is here. This is a golden pothos on a totem. And so it's climbing up, and that vertical gardening is real popular. So if you can get your plants to kind of climb up and crawl up and have a little bit more space for them upright, that's great. Other plants that are in the family are these beautiful anthurium, and at this time of year it's gorgeous to see this long-lasting flower. This is called a spadix right in the center, and then a spathe right behind it there as that large petal continues to bloom, and they're so long-lasting, probably about 6 to 9 months you'll keep color in this petal. And then we also have Nephites or butterfly plant or syngonium. There's lots of names for it, but you see this light green here, and then also this small pink variety. This is called Mickey down below, so that's really great too. Another popular one is going to be the alocasia. Sometimes we call these elephant ears or African mass plant. Lovely silver coloration, dark, sort of thick texture as well. So it's a great family. Light can vary, but they typically can grow in low to medium to bright indirect light. They don't need direct sunlight. Really light on the watering as far as they're concerned. They like a slightly drier soil conditions. They love humidity, so if you can increase the humidity in the home, that's awesome. And you just want to fertilize them with a houseplant fertilizer formulation, and you would really apply that from maybe late March through September. They'd be ready to go.
Petiti Garden Centers has multiple locations throughout Northeast Ohio, and no matter where you visit, the employees are going to be there to help you find the perfect plant for your space. All right, save the bees behind the scenes with a local beekeeper up next.
Road trips, recipes, and much more. Go to fox8.com and click on the New Day Cleveland tab.
Welcome back to our Go Green show. Today is all about Mother Earth, and if you've missed anything, don't worry, you can go to fox8.com and see that list of all of our featured businesses. All right, now get outside and explore. What's greener than that? Get a view from the treetops at Holden Arboretum.
Here at the Arboretum, we have 3,500 acres of cultivated gardens, trails, pathways, and a whole lot of natural areas. We're here on the Merch Canopy Walk, which is basically an elevated experience that gets people out into the tree canopy. We are 65 feet above the forest floor here, and the canopy walk has a series of elevated walkways. It's about 500 feet in total that get people, out into the trees. As you can see behind me, we have many deciduous trees that have not leafed out yet. But it's a great time to be out here because over the next few weeks we'll have a lot of these trees budding, flowering, leafing out, and it's never quite the same twice. The Kalber Emergent Tower is another one of our fantastic attractions out here at the Arboretum. The tower is a series of 202 steps. It's about 120 feet tall that actually gets our guests and our members above the tree canopy. So it's a great vantage point to view all the space around. You can see the tops of the trees. Sometimes you get kind of different animals up there too. A lot of the birds and insects are quite different than you might see down on the ground. It's a fantastic experience, and on a clear day you can sometimes see all the way out to Lake Erie. There is all sorts of stuff to learn out here, from kids to adults. There's a lot to observe. In the spring, you can really get a sense of kind of the cycle of life and how animals migrate. We have a lot of birds coming through this time of year. You can get really close up to small plants and see them in different stages of budding and flowering and seeding. There's also just a lot to observe with the different types of trees and plants that we have. People can absolutely visit Holden Arboretum year-round. The space is for everybody. One of the things that we really try to do in my area, guest experience, but also with everybody here on the team, is think of new ways to really welcome people and make it easier for them to get around. It's fantastic for people to get outside for a lot of reasons. Just staying active is great. We have pathways and gardens, but we also have a lot of trails out here as well that are a little further out. And some of our members come every day to walk their dogs. We have people who really like getting outside in the woods. And green spaces like these help people really appreciate the nature that we have all around us. And we hope that will really inspire folks doing things that promote sustainability in everyday life, that promote forest health, and just make good choices that impact our community.
You can go online to buy your tickets to the Holden Arboretum, and entrance to the Emergent Tower and Canopy Walk is included in the price of admission. All right, our next story comes full circle, from the flowers to the bees to your table. Let's check out the hives of the honeyest one.
They sound like they're happy. They're making a good buzzing sound. A long time ago, about a month before my son was born, I found out I was sick. And when I was recovering, a friend of mine had brought some honey to me and said, "Here, this will make you feel better." And I started eating it, and I did feel better, and it was amazing. And I decided I should get some bees. I just went out and started making these hives. I made a lot of hives. I made a couple hundred of these boxes, and just like this voice in my head was just telling me go to do this, I spent the whole winter in my garage making these boxes. For about the first 7 or 8 years, I took care of the bees out in the woods on the weekends, a lot by myself, learning about it, collecting the honey, doing that, and giving it away. I gave some to a woman that looked at me and said, "Why would you want to do that?" And I said, "Well, it makes me feel good, it makes other people, but I should sell it." So I started this thing called the Honeyest One, and we sell the honey. Okay, one of the important things about what we're doing is you should have a purpose. You just shouldn't get a beehive and just start digging through it anytime you feel like it. You should leave them alone as much as possible. But the reason today is we're just going to make sure that they're still okay. So we'll take the top off and we'll look through a couple of the boxes and we'll see if there's a presence of an egg-laying queen. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of stand here for a minute and just take a look at how they're behaving in front of the hive. So on a day like this, with the sun out at this time of day, with this weather, there should be bees going in to and from the hive. They should be coming back with some pollen on their bodies. So this looks pretty good. That sound you hear is the propolis. It's like bee glue. It's from tree sap and some resins. The bees use it to basically glue everything together so it doesn't move or vibrate too much. So we'll check a couple of these frames in the middle to see if there's any brood on those. So here's a nice full frame of honey on both sides of this. It's been harvested from the flowers, brought back to the hive. The honey's been dried so that the moisture content is low enough so it doesn't ferment. And then they put a wax capping on there. And at this point now, this honey could last for a very, very, very long time in that state and not spoil or go bad. It's an amazing thing. So there's babies on this one. This is a good one. So these eggs, most of these were laid 9 or 10 days ago, because then at some point they put a capping on the cell that the egg is in, and the larva, and then the pupa, and then the adult. And these bees will probably be born within the next 7 or 8 days, I would think. So here are some cells that are going to turn into males. These cells right here, those are drone cells that will then become male bees. They're a lot bigger than the female cells. Here's a male bee right here. The biggest thing I know is that they're smarter than me. And as long as I give them a clean, dry place to live in an area that's got water and lots of bloom, they usually do really well. You ready to go? Or are you having too much fun?
You can shop the Honeyest One online or find him at several local markets, and check out the website to find out where he'll be next. All right, after this, an alternative and innovative way to grow your own food. Growing food without the soil. Oak Tree Hydroponics grows your veggies year-round. Here's a look.
Oak Tree Hydroponics is a company that grows year-round a number of different varieties of lettuces as well as herbs. And we do it 24/7, 365. Right now we're in about a 4,000 square foot greenhouse. It is temperature controlled to the best of our ability, and we have approximately 800 to 8,500 plants growing at any one particular time. Primarily, we've got about 6 or 7 different lettuce varieties here. Butter lettuces, bib lettuces, green leafies, crisp heads. We also grow romaine and spinach. As far as the herbs go, arugula, basil, cilantro, pak choi, 2 varieties of parsleys, our beautiful Swiss chard here. The beauty of hydroponics is that because it is soilless, we don't rely on things like herbicides or pesticides to keep ugly, nasty, mean, rotten, and cruel critters away from this. It's all, if you will, controlled environment in here. And we've been doing this since 2015, I think is when we started. Got this greenhouse going in 2017, and we currently have a number of commercial accounts, and we provide our premier product at farmers markets.
I'm going to show you exactly what we do in growing the vegetables that we have here in the greenhouse. We start off right here with plants that we actually just put in on Sunday. You notice they've already started to grow. They will stay in these little containers for about 2 to 3 weeks until they get to be about this size, and then they get to be transplanted into our channels. We have this very large reservoir underneath the tables here. That is where the water is recycled and comes out of, and that's where the nutrients are mixed. So we will have the pumps which are on that side bring the water up through these pipes right here. We'll have water that goes into the channels. We use 90% less water than they do otherwise in the fields, and that's what makes it a little bit easier for us to produce our product 365 days a year. I plant approximately 1,000 plants every week, and that's just to keep the cycle going, because if there's ever a break in the cycle, then I'm out without product, and I've got some very unhappy customers.
What makes hydroponics special is that it's not your typical agricultural type environment where you're dependent on the weather, on seasons. We control it all, and that's the beauty of the hydroponic.
It makes me feel good to be able to provide something to people that they A, need, B, love, and then to get the thanks from them is worth it all.
Want to know where to find Oak Tree Hydroponics near you? You can visit their website to see their farmers market schedule. Well, Composting Made Easy, a local service that does the work for you. This is Rust Belt Riders.
Rust Belt Riders has been around since 2014, providing businesses, organizations, and individuals across Northeast Ohio with a clean, timely, and community-benefiting alternative to landfills for their food waste. And our mission is to feed people, not landfills. We really are trying to close the food loop, as it were. So I think a lot of effort and energy has been given to where our food comes from, and that's tremendously important. But we think that the farm-to-table movement is only complete when you've got a table-to-farm movement. And so what we do and what we focus on is helping people divert their food from going to landfills. So we work with businesses to pick up their food scraps, as well as residents and communities to help them meaningfully divert their food from going to landfills. After we collect that material, we then process it into the products that you see before you, which we market and sell as Tilth Soil. And so Tilth Soil is a line of certified organic soils used for potting mixes to houseplants to help people keep their plants healthy and happy. We have 2 programs that residents can opt into. We have a community-based drop-off location, which currently has around 20 and growing drop-off locations across Northeast Ohio. And the way that that works is you pay a monthly subscription. You bring your food scraps to ideally a conveniently located drop-off location, deposit your food scraps, rinse and repeat. And so you can do that on an as-needed basis, as often or as infrequently as you might want. But then on the other end of things, we live in the era of convenience, and so we also have a to-your-door home pickup program. All of the food waste that we pick up, we mix with wood chips and leaf waste, which we get from municipalities. And so it's that compost that is the foundation of all of the blends that we make, and is the key ingredient that makes our blends so special. Depending on what you're trying to grow, we usually have a mix for you. So early in the season, you might be starting things from seed, in which case you might want to go with our product called Sprout. And then after you've got healthy starts, you might want to put it into a raised bed or a larger container garden, and that's what Grow is for. Grow is by far our most popular product. Really user-friendly, makes everybody feel like they've got a green thumb. But not everybody's into gardening, and that's totally fine. Lots of people love their houseplants, be it spider plants or monsteros, you name it. And then we've got a mix for indoor houseplants as well. It provides a ton of drainage for your mix, making it really hard to over or underwater that mix. But then a lot of people are aware of fungus gnats. So these are the pesky little flies that emerge out of your soil very often and are the bane of lots of houseplant parents' existence. And so by working with Nathan on our team, we found a microscopic worm that we inoculate this mix with that will kill off any fungus gnats. And so we know that we can ship out this product knowing that it will be free of fungus gnats, and that we think has been a huge benefit to a lot of the houseplant parents that have enjoyed this product. We love working with gardeners and farmers one-on-one to make sure that they're getting the blend that they need to get the results that they need, so that they can keep growing as much food as they can.
If you'd like to learn more about Rust Belt Riders or shop Tilth Soil, you can check them out online. Tilth Soil is also available in stores throughout the state of Ohio. Okay, when we come back, exploring one of the greatest outdoor resources that we have in Northeast Ohio. David and I want to thank Dillard's Beechwood for helping us to look our best every day on New Day Cleveland. Did you know the Eastside location is Dillard's Midwest flagship store? They carry hard-to-find designer brands in fashion, footwear, home goods, and beyond. Not to mention, you can shop with a personal stylist at no cost. If you like our style, check out Dillard's Beechwood. Rocky River Reservation started it all. Cleveland Metro Park's first 3.8 acres in the entire park district. We have a diversity of trails, everything from paved all-purpose trails to the bridle trails, and here behind the Nature Center, over 5 miles of natural surface trails. Rocky River Reservation offers year-round activity. Whether you bike or hike, want to be on the water, want to get to Lake Erie, all of those things are here for you year-round, summer, winter, fall, programs, Nature Center, we have a little bit of everything. The Rocky River itself is nationally and regionally known for its steelhead fishing. Actually, many publications have mentioned this river specifically. We have some access to the river directly right from the Nature Center. Near the Nature Center, we recently added our West Channel Pond. We have a West Channel Pond loop trail that was recently renovated, as well as our West Channel Pond Bridge. If you visited the Oxbow Lagoon picnic area in the past, it might be worth another visit this summer. We've recently added new bridges and boardwalks to make a previously impassable trail passable. On the north end at our Emerald Necklace Marina, there is availability for kayak rental and paddleboard rental. So if you don't have the supplies, we've got that opportunity for you to try it first. We have 3 golf courses. Little Met, which is our very first golf course, Big Met, which is thought to be the most played course in the whole state of Ohio, and Mastic Woods, which offers nice 9-hole, same with Little Met, 9-hole opportunities. So our golf courses cover every skill level. I would be remiss if we didn't mention the Fort Hill stairs. 155 stairs, a staircase that leads up to the top of our Fort Hill loop trail and earthworks, which are a series of mounds and ditches that were created over 2,000 years ago by the early woodland Indians, and it's actually on the National Register of Historic Places. So once you've traveled those stairs, it's definitely worth checking out the earthworks. Rocky River Nature Center offers hundreds of programs to not only school groups, but anyone in the community, especially on the weekends. We host programs, nature hikes, as well as large-scale events. We're best known for our maple sugaring program, which happens every year in March, and our Birds of Prey event. We are known for an eagle's nest. I can't disclose that location to you, but I can tell you that if you hang around South Mastic picnic area, you might catch a view of those eagles hunting over the river. They did have 1 young juvenile this year and have been nesting in the area for years now. Rocky River Reservation is accessible to so many communities, traveling from Berea on the south end all the way up to Lakewood and Cleveland on the north end. It goes through about 9 communities, and currently Cleveland Metro Parks is working on a connector trail with the City of Fairview Park to connect those residents so they can easily get into the park. Well, that wraps up our Go Green show. Remember, even a little change can make a big difference, whether that means biking to work, eating healthy, or reusing the things that you already have. Our planet thanks you. I'm Natalie Herbeck, and on behalf of David Moss, we'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland.